Hello, welcome to Lotus Chat this week. I am Laura Benson at Mammoth Edge Coaching, and I am so excited to be here with Zian. Say hello, Zian.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Christmas week.
It is Christmas week, and Zian and I we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the reason for the season. We really planned a discussion with each of you that are listening on discovering faith. Before you turn off the dial and say, uh-oh, we're going to be preached at, what I want to tell you is no. We want to talk to you about faith because this is the season for many faiths. There is a faith for Kwanzaa, there's a faith for Hanukkah, there's a faith for Christmas. There are many people who have different beliefs, and we want to acknowledge and affirm all of them. And we want to affirm you as the listener, but we want to have a moment where we talk about the importance of faith and why it's valuable in our everyday life. So I'm anxious to hear Zian's wisdom today. So I'm going to start with the question, and we'll start with Zian, and then she'll throw it back to me.
Yes.
So Zian, talk to me for a minute. What is faith to you, and why is it important?
Okay, so for me, I think faith is like a self-assurance, assurance that the universe have my back, like that no matter what I do or I say is not just about me. So somebody, someone, something has a greater power, has got my back. So I think it's the living with faith is having a sense of assurance, that not everything is from me and for me.
Right.
Yeah. And to me, why is that important? It goes back to the idea of assurance. I think to know that when I have faith, for me, it's the flip side. It's moving towards maturity, meaning towards when we grow up, we aspire to be independent. When we're a child to an adult, we from being dependent to a parent to independence. For me, when we have faith, it's the other way around. It's the flip side. It's bringing from independence to dependence. And that to me is why it's so important. And that to me is also a sign of maturity.
Ooh, I like that. You? Well, for me, faith is a little bit different. For me, I'm a collaborator. I collaborate at work. I collaborate with people that I coach. And for me, faith is a collaboration with something that is greater than myself. So what I mean by that is, if we're all just individuals walking on the earth with nothing bigger than ourselves, there's no reason to care about anybody else. But I have a strong belief that there is something greater than us. And that, I love the word assurance, but I also like the word, it's affirming to us that we're a part of a greater good. And what happens with faith is faith, like you said, is the assurance of, even though we can't see it, we know it's there. We know that we have a path, and that path is ours, and that we're a part of a path with someone or something that is watching over us, and that we're not alone. And so that is what faith is, and that's, for me, is important. When you're not alone, it means that you can do greater good, you have a purpose, and you're valuable and important. So that's what faith means to me. So Zian, talk to me for a minute about what happens when someone doesn't have faith. Is that possible?
I think it's possible that someone have not discovered faith. I don't think it's possible that someone, absolutely don't have faith. And to claim that you don't have faith, it's like you're saying that you have a individual mindset, that you're only thinking about yourself and you don't think that anything else matters from that perspective. And I think what happens when you don't have faith is you are not willing to let go of control because
Right.
you think that you can control the situation. But I strongly believe that there are a lot of things that happen in this world that is beyond our control. And
Right.
we can't explain that with or without faith. So yeah, what do you think?
My grandmother used to say, do you have faith the sun will rise in the morning when you wake up? And I'd say yes. She says, you have faith. Because you don't know the sun's going to rise. You believe it will, you think it will, but you have faith that it's going to rise the next morning when you get up. For me, I agree with you. I think if someone says, I don't have faith, I don't think they're using the term correctly. It means that they're discouraged, disappointed, or have lost their belief that it will work. Many times people get to that point when life hasn't gone the way they want it to, or they've been disappointed or badly hurt. And so life feels unfair. So then I've heard people say, I've lost faith. I don't think that we really lose faith, because you can't lose something that's greater than you. But I think you can possibly put it to the side and not look at it, or not speak about it, or not read about it, or whatever. But that doesn't mean there isn't faith. So the other thing I want to say about this too, I know some of our listeners are saying, well, I know someone who's an atheist. They don't have faith. They do have faith. They have faith that there isn't a God. And that's fine. That's their belief system. And what Zian and I both want to say at this point is, it doesn't matter what your faith is. It can be in the universe, it can be in God, it can be in Allah, it can be in numerous other things. But that faith is what gives you your guiding principles. It gives you your ethics. It gives you your moral compass. Those things are really important in life, to know what is right, what is wrong, where do you want to go, where don't you want to go. And so we're not here to say this is the religion you need to have. We're here to say that whatever faith that you have, envelop it, hold it, and keep it safe, because it is valuable. So back to my friend, the atheist. They do have faith. They just have faith that there isn't a God. But I believe that if you're an atheist, there probably is more to it. And I'm not saying you have to believe in God, but there is something they believe in. So that maybe better question is, instead of labeling somebody to say they don't believe in God, what is it that they believe in? And so I think that's the importance. I always wondered about people who didn't believe in God, how Christmas can be kind of a heavy holiday.
Yeah, commercialized.
I mean, everybody's talking about the baby Jesus, and everybody, and it's like, but I think though, if you have faith in a greater good, it's also a season to feel wonderful about focusing on others. Whether gift giving is not about you, it's about showing your feelings for somebody else. You can give cookies to your neighbor who lives alone. Maybe you can go and volunteer at the homeless shelter and serve food. It's about getting out of ourselves and going out and supporting those who have less. And that's what faith is. It's a greater good. So I remember one of the best Thanksgivings I ever spent was serving at a homeless shelter. And I went home realizing how blessed I really was, and how I met some of the most wonderful people. And I was doing something that wasn't for me, it was for someone else. And so I think this season that we're in is about that. How can we give back to others? But if we only have faith in ourselves, it's a tough season to participate in.
I love that, Laura. That's so much wisdom there.
Thank you.
And I want
Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to add on to that I think faith is also recognizing that we exist in this world beyond our own needs. So, recognizing faith is also recognizing what's really our purpose in this world.
Right.
Like, why are we here for? And we are, of course, created for a specific purpose. So I think to discover that would be amazing.
Well, Zian, thank you for that. My last question to you is, how do our listeners develop faith? What if they don't know if they have faith? What if they would like to know more about it? How do you go about developing faith?
I think, in my view, interestingly, we develop faith at the moment when we experience pain, because when all is fine and dandy, you don't need to have any faith except, belief and self-assurance in yourself. But I think when the outer walls of our life crumbles down, that's when we realize, oh my God. So pay attention to what you turn to during your low moments, or pay attention to who you talk to, or what you tend to rely on spiritually. I think during those moments, the darker moments, then you will know deep in your heart, like, who and what is that faith that you rely on.
Well, Zian, for me, I really like that. And I have a friend that calls it a tower moment. When the tower falls down and everything's crumbling, that's usually when people start looking around for faith. To be really truthful with you, it's process. You're not going to wake up one day and say, I have a faith. You may, but most of us, it's a process. And it's a process to educate ourselves. What do we believe in? What feels right? What feels right in our heart? Not our head, but our heart. And talk to people who know about faith, or their journey is farther ahead than yours. Maybe you know someone who has a deep faith in God. Maybe you know someone who has a deep faith in the universe. Maybe you have someone that you listen to on the internet that does speeches about faith, or YouTube or whatever. Start with that and with reading. And if it feels right to you, that is where you keep moving forward. I had a friend once who said, I didn't have faith until I walked into a specific place of worship. And she said, I felt my heart found a place called home. My heart felt good there. It felt right. And I was like, that is what faith is. When you feel that you've found the right place for you, whether it be through a friend, through books, through talks, through a specific building, through activities, through volunteering, that's where you will find your faith. And don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask, and use your inner wisdom to ask you, what is it I'm looking for? What is it that feels right? And I think that's how you do it. I think if you do all of those things, it will lead you to the right place.
So faith finding is also soul searching moments.
Yeah, very true. That's very true. Soul searching and faith finding are a lot alike.
Yes, I love that. So as we are approaching Christmas, my hope is for all the listeners out there who's listening, that they will find their own versions of faith, and that no matter what you choose to rely on, I hope that it will be something that would create that structure that you're looking for in life.
I'd like to also add, do things this Christmas you wouldn't normally do. Volunteer, give a gift to someone that doesn't have someone. Do things that are out of your comfort zone to give to others, and I promise you it will be so meaningful. And the other thing is, don't resist the season. Don't resist the messages you hear. Don't resist the people who are excited about it. Just kind of let it flow. And I think this season, if you really think about the reason for it, it'll take on a whole new meaning. Instead of running around buying gifts and wrapping them and making a turkey or whatever you make, it's about the actions that we provide to help others. So
Yes.
keep that in mind this Christmas.
Yes, that's lovely. So thank you so much, Laura, for
Thank
being
you,
here
Jen.
today. Yes,
Thank
and for all the listeners out there, we want to wish you a happy holidays and Merry Christmas. And as usual, click like, subscribe, or follow on any of our YouTube and Spotify. And as we are moving towards the new year, we will be exploring new topics. So we welcome your suggestions on lotuschatworldwide@gmail.com. So signing off, I'm Zian.
Bye. Bye.